Your Excellency, since you joined SDP, what is your assessment of the growth of your campaign group?
Well, we can only say thank you to God. God has been very marvelous. He's been very, very generous to us. People are just coming in dozens, if not in hundreds. We are very, very lucky. We can say confidently that the people understand our mission. They understand why we are doing what we are doing. That we are not doing it because we want to make Segun Oni governor. It's just like a byproduct of it. We are doing what we are doing because we want to liberate Ekiti. We don't want a state where the total patrimony is hijacked by two families, and they are now going to be disbursing, tokens to whoever they feel like. That's not the Ekiti that we believe we are a part of, and that's not the Ekiti that we would be contented with.
When you defected from the PDP, you said you were actually going with a movement of people across party lines. What is the situation today?
Yeah, it is across party lines. We have people of the PDP extraction, we have people of the APC extraction, we have people who are coming on their own, who some have never really been in active politics. And they are all coming in to say, yes, we want to belong in here because we believe that this is our struggle together, and that Ekiti must be liberated.
You see this time as historic in the evolution of the state?
It is very historic. This is another liberation war that we want to face. Ekitis don't want anybody to change them out of this patrimony. Therefore, everybody is standing up. And the few of them who in those two parties who believe they will use the party feelings to corner the patrimony of Ekiti, have discovered that people are wiser.
Why do you think so massive, multitude of Ekiti people are queuing behind you?
Because they know the issue now. The issue is beyond party lines. The issue is beyond one politician wanting to be governor or not. The issue is that our collective patrimony is being taken away from us. Your children and my children, if they want to be councillors or want to be senators, will have to queue in the homestead of these two families. And they have hijacked the two main parties, making it almost impossible for anybody who wants to play politics to have any way to go. Now, this is an opportunity for Ekiti to send both of them packing with a single blow, and that will happen by God's grace.
People describe you in beautiful terms. How do you describe yourself?
Well, I would say that I'm somebody who loves service, who wants to serve.
You did not enrich yourself during your first term, even though it was just there for you to do. What was that strength?
Well, let me first tell you, I don't do cheap things. When I went to school, I struggled hard to get on areas where not many people were. I don't do cheap things. Stealing government money is a cheap thing. Does it require that you have IQ to be able to do? What IQ does a governor need to be able to award a contract and say, bring back 30% or 40%? In fact, some will say, "Oh, me da." You know, if the contractor won't do that quickly. I worked in the private sector. I was an expatriate in Xerox. Long before I became governor, I was an expatriate. I worked in Kenya, Rank Xerox Kenya, and I had excellent records. If I would be stealing, I've been exposed to money a long time ago, and I could have been stealing in other currencies, you know, much stronger than the Naira. People who are just coming into limelight with the Ekiti funds and so on will steal it. I wouldn't.
The situation today in Nigeria, or even in Ekiti, is worse, far worse than the situation in 2007 to 2010 when you were the governor. How do you want to make it?
Well, people made it worse, and we are going to use the hands of people, this time a different set of people, to make it better. It wasn't exactly where it was in 2010 that I met it in 2007. But within the period we were there, Ekiti was rated as a state with the highest life expectancy in Nigeria. The healthcare delivery that we were giving was acknowledged by everybody as of the best quality in terms of, you know, being able to do what a basic health system should do. We didn't have a UCH, we didn't have a LUTH, but then we applied what God has given us. We had an hospital system where anywhere in Ekiti you want a drug, 19 times out of 20 you will go home with a drug that day. The worst that will happen is you will wait for about an hour before the drug is delivered to you via the system. So we are not really as cheap as we look now. I wanted an Ekiti that could rub shoulders with people of better climes. We are not thinking small. We were looking at an Ekiti that is world class, that will be world beaters, and that's why we introduced all this. When we brought Odigbede, Amelia Edet, and Coach Abe to coach their individual sports, Odigbede for soccer, Amelia Edet for athletics, and Coach Abe for tennis, through games masters in schools. People didn't understand. What were we trying to do? In fact, Odigbede is alive. You can ask him questions. He said when I first invited him, he thought, is this guy wanting me to coach an Ekiti United team when I've coached the Nigerian team? When he got to me and I told him that the mission is first to make soccer pervasive in the school system, he will have to identify games master coaches. He will have to develop curriculum to teach them and coach the coaches. He will have to ensure that in the primary school, the junior secondary and senior secondary system, there are enough programs and competitions to identify those who have potentials to be 5 stars, to be 4-star potential, and so on. And that those who show early that they are potential world beaters will talk of other academies to send them to. I'm sure by now maybe Ekiti would have produced 1 or 2 in some of the best leagues in the world. coming to diet, that was the reason why we were giving eggs to school children. Because we know that their parents will not give them. Some due to ignorance, some due to poverty. We said every child in primary school, every child in junior secondary school should take egg and chocolate tea 2 times a week, free of charge. All these things were designed free of charge. And our brothers on the other side, and they are in government now, said we had done juju into it. They said people should not eat it. Wọ́n ní wọ́n sín gbẹ́rẹ́ sára ẹyin, wọ́n ní wọ́n sín gbẹ́rẹ́ sára abọ́mi ògbọ́n yẹn rí. You know, some stupid things just to prevent innocent children from getting the race that can make their future better. They said also, I said, anybody whose child does not want to take eggs, they should not force it on the child. Those children who are ready to take, give it to them. Even though we also discovered that the ones who took and the ones who did not take, the ones who did not take were very few. But no egg was returned. You will see the extent to which people will go just to destroy the future of others' children. So if I talk this way, it is because I'm angry that people who were standing in the way of progress and development of Ekiti are unrelenting, and they continue to be unrelenting. It is now time to say Otoge.
Today there is so much youth restiveness and vices alongside. How do you intend to checkmate this?
Well, you create a diversification of opportunities. If you don't diversify opportunities, you will always have restiveness. Some of the children who are restive now probably may have talents to sprint at high capacity. Some of them would have been world beaters. They would have employed people as marshals. They would have employed people even to carry their jerseys and carry their bags to training. Would have been gainfully employed. Some would have been just give the champion his normal day massage, and they earn their own living through that. But we did not diversify the opportunities. When we create multiple opportunities and diversify, so that a child may not have to be brilliant in school to do well, but those who are brilliant will make sure that they can continue with their brilliance to any level. We'll put scholarships. By the way, I started the first scholarship board in Ekiti State, Ekiti of all places. No scholarship board, no scholarship scheme. Before I came, you will wonder what are others doing. I am not sure if they are still awarding scholarships today. I am not sure. But I knew in my time we were awarding scholarships.
The state of insecurity in Ekiti is intensifying, it's not relenting. What is your own attitude to it?
Because government did not do anything. Before I left in 2010. We created a panic system, panic alert system, whereby anywhere within the shores of Ekiti, within the boundaries of Ekiti, if there is an attack, you call. Once you call a center, within 5 minutes, you will be reached. Because we made sure the police had 50 vehicles to start with. 50 vehicles fitted with communication gadgets, and of course the police were equipped to be able to return fire If you get to the police headquarters today, as you are driving in, to your right, there is a building. I don't know what they are using it for now. That is the building constructed for it. And we would have been the first in Nigeria to have it. And it was designed, tested to be okay. And we would have now improved on it. Now, with the prevalence of Google and so on, we would have even integrated it with Google and ensure that it will be more robust. It's still there. The state government spent money on it. It wasn't Segun Oni's money, but they stopped it. They didn't use it for one day. It was complete, ready. And it would have been fetching state government some money, because to subscribe you will pay something. It's there. So why will receipts not be high if nobody is checking crime? So it is because government did nothing. Government did nothing. It is not enough to just blame the police. Everywhere in the world now, you employ technology to be able to aid police duties. And that is a locally invented technology that would have helped policing a lot in Ekiti. And I'm sure by now it would have progressed at least 2-3 times much better than what we were starting with.
What do you say about the current debt profile of Ekiti State?
Well, all I can say is that when I was governor of Ekiti, I did not increase the debt level by 1 naira. External debts that I understand are now mounting at a terrific rate. And in local debt, if we took an overdraft, it was something that we put into revolving scheme, that as soon as people borrow, the people return, and the state funds the difference in the interest rate, because we didn't want our staff to be faced with the interest rate that would make them unable to comfortably live their lives because they have taken loans. I would say that people who are borrowing must have a reason for borrowing, but the reason cannot be the good of the society. And I'll say that with every emphasis. On water, we invested so much on water in this state, to the extent that the water has woke up. I remember late Honorable Justice Olataura, one day, Baba came to my office around midday. Baba said, Segun, I want to thank you. He said, water came out in his house for the first time in decades. I said, Baba, thank you, sir. He said, well, it will now be regular. And that was when water got to Ikole, because we were taking it one after the other. And water was almost everywhere. The water that we did, that was flowing in Ikole, flowing everywhere, was water they now had to borrow money from the World Bank to say they will put. We didn't need a World Bank loan to make water flow. Water was already flowing and did not require any further thing other than maintenance. Now, with the World Bank and everything, water is not flowing. And it's a loan down the drain, and so on. You can know why so many people are interested in stopping Segun Oni. Why? Because they must all come together, association of people who are very afraid. And let me tell you, and let me assure them, I don't persecute people. I go after the business of turning around the society. So I am not going to persecute them. I didn't persecute anybody first time I came. I did not send the FCC after anybody. Even people who were already in trouble with the Aladi business, I pretended I didn't see them. I left them to be sorting themselves out with the FCC. That's not me. So I am not going to be after anybody. But we must change Ekiti. We must ensure that our children will grow into an Ekiti that will make them very proud.
It was reported that when you were about to leave office in your first term, you just received a security vote which legitimately belonged to you, but you refused to take it away. Would you want to clarify this?
Not just. Let me explain. The system in Government House when I was there is that first of every month, the security vote will be brought. The security vote was then 75 million naira only. They'll bring the security, so they brought the security vote for October, 1st of October. I left 15th of October, but by the 15th of October, I was still spending the security vote for September. I've just gone about halfway, and that's the way I do it, because I don't do any business that will expose the state to such an extent that we'll be looking for who will give us a loan if there is a security problem. I'll make sure that we are always having a buffer of 1 month of security vote. And they asked me to go on the 15th. This security vote is the security vote of the governor of Ekiti. And my people said, okay, your money upstairs. I said, what is my money? This is the security vote of the governor of Ekiti, not of Segun Oni. And since the court has pronounced now that I'm no longer governor, I won't touch it. And I told Mrs. Omope, when Kayode comes on Monday, please hand over the security vote. And that meant that Kayode had the security vote for half of September and the full security vote for October.
What kind of campaign should the public expect from you? That's the final question.
Well, first, we are going to ensure that we relate closely with the people. We are going to start our campaign runs with town hall meetings. Town hall meetings will give us the opportunity of interacting with people and getting response, answering their questions. Because when you are on the rostrum, you don't answer anybody's questions. You tell them what you will do, what you will do, what you will do. Nobody can even ask you, what did you do before? But if you are in a town hall meeting, somebody can tell you. Somebody can say, Oga, when you were here, this is what you did that was not right. So you create an opportunity. That is where we are going to start from. But before we go to town hall meetings, we will first call everybody that is called SDP to a meeting in every local government headquarters so that they will know themselves. We are from different political backgrounds. Some of us, this is the first time we will work together as politicians. So in every local government, as many SDP people as possible as are able to make it to that venue should come and there will be a meeting. They will ask questions and I will answer them and so on. That is the start. Then it means campaign has really started.
Mommy Bossing, Daddy Johnson, Mommy Arena, Daddy Coco, Atomo de Tagbalaga, Daddy Arena, Family
G on the beat.
Segun Oni ni ṣe kó dúró. Àtọmọdé àtàgbà ta ló níbò. Ekiti kété nílé lóko. Tẹ́ bá ti rí SDP ó ní kẹ́ dìbò fún l'Ekiti. Kò lè sí calamity bí Ṣẹ́gun dá gómìnà l'Ekiti. Ká fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ pé l'Ekiti Ṣẹ́gun Oni ló lè ṣe bẹ̀bẹ̀. SDP ìrẹ́wọ̀lé dé l'Ekiti o. Abọ́lọ́wọ́ ibi finally o. Tẹ́ bá tẹ̀ sójú Ọmọlúwa. Ìrẹ́wọ̀lé dé SDP for you job opportunity o. Ekiti àtúrà fẹ́ everybody o. Tẹ́ bá tẹ̀ sójú Ọmọlúwa. Ìrẹ́wọ̀lé dé
G on the beat.
Ogún ọdún ajá irin fàájì ní fẹ́ ṣe. Ekiti nílé lóko ẹ̀tẹ̀ka ìdìbò fẹ́ gbẹ́lẹ́ṣin. Ṣẹ́gun Oni ti dé àtúnṣe Ekiti ló wọlé dé. Ọmọlúwàbí ọmọ tán sọ ló wọlé dé. Ekiti nílé lóko ẹ má jà bára jà. Ìjọba tí kò bẹ́ wa o ẹ jẹ́ ká dára gbà o. Ṣẹ́gun Oni ti dé àtúnṣe Ekiti ló wọlé dé. Iná máa wà omi máa dé italis owó máa pé.
Kò lè sí calamity bí Ṣẹ́gun dá gómìnà l'Ekiti. Ká fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ pé l'Ekiti Ṣẹ́gun Oni ló lè ṣe bẹ̀bẹ̀. SDP ìrẹ́wọ̀lé dé l'Ekiti o. Abọ́lọ́wọ́ ibi finally o. Tẹ́ bá tẹ̀ sójú Ọmọlúwa. Ìrẹ́wọ̀lé dé SDP for you job opportunity o. Ekiti àtúrà fẹ́ everybody o. Tẹ́ bá tẹ̀ sójú Ọmọlúwa. Ìrẹ́wọ̀lé dé ẹni tó lè ṣe ẹ ló yẹ ká fún. Ẹni tó ẹ ló yẹ ká bọlá fún. L'Ekiti Ṣẹ́gun ni ẹ dìbò fún. Gano dàùtì yá ní kẹ́ dìbò fún. Bá tẹ dìbò á ti wọlé o. Ìfọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ Ekiti àmàgbàdé o. Ṣẹ́gun Oni dé ìrẹ́wọ̀lé dé o. Ìrẹ́wọ̀lé dé kò lè sí calamity bí Ṣẹ́gun dá gómìnà l'Ekiti. Ká fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ pé l'Ekiti Ṣẹ́gun Oni ló lè ṣe bẹ̀bẹ̀. SDP ìrẹ́wọ̀lé dé l'Ekiti o. Abọ́lọ́wọ́ ibi finally o. Tẹ́ bá tẹ̀ sójú Ọmọlúwa. Ìrẹ́wọ̀lé dé SDP for you job opportunity o. Ekiti àtúrà fẹ́ everybody o. Tẹ́ bá tẹ̀ sójú Ọmọlúwa. Ìrẹ́wọ̀lé dé
People of the fountain.